The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
If you have an opinion on our show, let us know what you have to say through the power of social media. People always ask me, Jonathan Clarke, how do you become famous overnight? Okay, are you watching? This is how.
You're over my head, I'm out of my mind, thinking I was wrong in the wrong time. Stop and rewind, everything is so throwback-ish. I kinda like it how you're out of my league, old school chic, like a movie star, up a silver screen. You're one of a kind, living in a world gone plastic. Baby, you're so classic. Baby, you're so classic. Baby, you're so classic.
So, what did you think?
Baby, you're so classic. Baby, you're so classic.
Hey guys, I know it's been a number of months since I last blogged for you on my YouTube channel, so seeing as how it's been quite some time since you last heard from me, I thought I would do a blog on my thoughts on the recent changes we have seen in WWE's product. Over the last several months, we've seen a new WWE Champion crown in AJ Styles, a new Intercontinental Champion in Roman Reigns, new Tag Team Champions in Sheamus and Cesaro, and we've seen new women coming to WWE's Women's Division, and the recent return of Paige, which I'm really proud of. Give me your thoughts on the changes, what you think the direction of WWE should be or should not be heading in to 2018, what you liked, what you disliked about all the changes. We saw them happen around Survivor Series when we were seeing interpromotional matches promoted for Survivor Series without a doubt. We're coming off the heels of one of the biggest Survivor Series of all time of the past 31 editions of Survivor Series. This unquestionably was the biggest Survivor Series we have seen in quite some time. WWE changing the card, teasing us with potential fantasy matches, then changing it within weeks, literally days, before the pay-per-view. We saw a new women's champion in Charlotte. We saw new tag team champions in Sheamus and Cesaro, a new Intercontinental champion in Roman Reigns, and a new WWE champion during the European tour of AJ Styles when they went to the UK. It was amazing. I thought it was great. I thought the ratings for WWE television programming couldn't be any higher, and I think we have never seen such high ratings since the Attitude Era, since we've seen so many championship matches and so many title changes when you least expected them to happen. I thought the New Day did a great job, cross-promoting both Raw and SmackDown, showing up on Raw. I thought the Invasion, the Under Siege angle was really great. It was a bit emotional for me seeing Kurt Angle treated the way he was by Shane McMahon and the entire SmackDown Live roster. But I mean, when you're trying to establish a live television show like you've been trying to establish for SmackDown ever since last July in 2016, you really have to go above and beyond the expectations of anyone, and you have to do things that you least expect would happen. You really need to catch the fans off guard, and I think this Under Siege angle really did catch a number of fans off guard, probably more fans than I've ever been given credit for being caught off guard. You might have said that you saw that coming from miles away, weeks before it happened. But the thing is, social media can lead you to believe anything, and you could have, been trying to decipher between a number of different angles that could have happened. Anything else could have happened but that, and usually it's the least thing that you expect to happen that always does happen. I was really emotional, caught off guard by how they treated the Raw roster and Kurt Angle, especially how Kurt Angle was coming off being inducted into the Hall of Fame, but you couldn't have got Kurt Angle back into the ring better than what you did. And I think Kurt Angle has never had more fans and supporters out there than what he's had in the wake of everything that's happened to himself and his brand. I think Kurt Angle's job as general manager is 110% secure. In the words of Stephanie McMahon, I concur with that decision up until at least he faces Triple H at WrestleMania. It's either going to be Triple H versus Kurt Angle, Triple H versus Braun Strowman next year at WrestleMania, and I think Kurt Angle is going to be GM up until the point in time he faces Triple H and comes after him. He told Triple H that he can pretty much take the job as general manager and shove it because Kurt Angle is coming for Triple H, and I hope that after Kurt Angle is fired from being general manager, he doesn't go the route of Mick Foley and we never see or hear from him again. We only just hear from him on social media from time to time. I hope Kurt Angle goes from being GM to being wrestling all the time like a Brock Lesnar or an Undertaker. I also think it's really cool how we're getting ready for the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. We have all these legends coming into Monday Night Raw for the 25th anniversary celebration to commemorate 25 years. On Monday Night Raw, we already have confirmed for the big night Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash. We're possibly going to see a reunion of the Click, Triple H, The Undertaker, and so many others have been dropped by WWE.com and professional wrestling news websites. Rumors about The Undertaker and his future with WWE have been speculated on, and hopefully we're going to get some clarification as to where we go from here with The Undertaker after his loss to Reigns last year at WrestleMania, and I'm hoping we're going to head in the direction of seeing Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker one final time at WrestleMania next year in New Orleans, where the streak ended back at WrestleMania 30 just a mere 4 years ago by the time we get to WrestleMania, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what happens with The Undertaker. One of the biggest reasons, of course, is because if you know anything about me from dropping these video blogs on my YouTube channel, is that I'm a really big fan and supporter of The Undertaker, and who can blame me after over 27 years? He had a right to walk off the product the way he did, but I think that The Undertaker's never had more fans and supporters, just like a Brock Lesnar or an AJ Styles has never seen as many fans as what they have now because of everything that's happened with all these major title changes. And that they say that AJ Styles, Paul Heyman aptly put it when he said that AJ Styles had updated the styles of Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair with his unique style and offense he brings to a WWE ring night in and night out, and even before that in companies like TNA and the Independents. So AJ Styles definitely has earned his right, his reputation in WWE, and I think that if there was ever more a deserving champion, it is definitely an AJ Styles. And something I have to really put over for 2017 is how much the women's division has incredibly evolved. It's really outstanding when you see new champions crowned, like Charlotte, what herself and Natalya have been doing for the Hart Flair reputation for the last number of decades. It's really great where they're seeing them pick up where their fathers, Bret Hart and Ric Flair, left us in the 1980s and 1990s, decades that will never be forgotten. And it's really awesome when you see MMA style wrestlers finally getting their right to perform on Raw and SmackDown from NXT. We also just recently saw the return of Paige, which we haven't heard from in a really long time. We haven't really heard anything from Paige on social media. We haven't really heard anything from Paige other than being on Total Divas. So I'm really excited to see where herself and people like Sonya Deville will head. Looking forward to seeing how they will change the women's division, especially on SmackDown Live with Liv Morgan, Ruby Ryan, and Sarah Logan. That's going to be great. I think that the women's division really needed new talent because even though the women's division has evolved into what they're calling the women's revolution, in the words of Stephanie McMahon, because I've been a huge fan of the women's division, I'm not going to knock them like many people are probably choosing to do. We're still seeing the same kind of thing rehatching itself no matter what generation of women's wrestlers we're talking about. We're seeing the same 5 or 6 always carrying the show in just different matches week in and week out. So at least now with the addition of 4 or 5, possibly 6 or 7 new women like Liv Morgan, Ruby Ryan, and Sarah Logan, and Sonya Deville, and the return of Paige. Hopefully, we'll see different storylines, different angles, and different matches. Really looking forward to seeing where we're headed there from that and what kind of direction will take characters like the New Day in, and characters like Sheamus and Cesaro regaining the tag team championships, and Roman Reigns as the Intercontinental Champion. How do you feel about that when we all know how fans have come to really hate Roman Reigns, kind of like a John Cena kind of character? And I think that now that John Cena makes minimal appearances on WWE television now, I think we're more appreciative of seeing John Cena because we don't see him night in and night out winning the championship, losing it, winning it back within 3 weeks, losing it, winning it back within 3 weeks, and that be the reason why he's a 16-time champion. He's a 16-time champion nowadays because he's earned the right to be a 16-time champion. And I think that if there was ever more a deserving champion in WWE, it obviously is someone like a John Cena. So let me know what your thoughts are on all of that. And The Miz possibly taking time off now because of his wife being on fraternity leave from WWE, like a Brie Bella now, because The Miz and Maurice are expecting a new child in their life, and I want to congratulate them on that. So obviously The Miz taking a break from WWE while Roman Reigns carries the responsibilities of being Intercontinental Champion. Say what you want about being champion in WWE, but what goes with that is a tremendous amount of responsibility and respect for whatever champion you are, whatever division. I think it's been great, all these major title changes. I think one of the biggest things that have benefited from it are definitely the ratings, because we've never seen as high ratings as the Attitude Era. Obviously, we'll never see as high ratings as what we saw from the Attitude Era of Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, the corporate ministry. We'll never see as high ratings as that because wrestling was just so crazy, so unpredictable. It's never going to be as unpredictable as that, no matter how many times you have Braun Strowman putting Kane through a ring or Kane attacking Braun Strowman's throat with a steel chair. No matter how outrageous the product is, no matter how many title changes you see week in and week out, It'll never be like WWE going head-to-head with WCW, but I think it's great. I hope we see more of that heading into 2018. For those of you keeping track of the calendar, the first Monday Night Raw of 2018 will actually be happening on New Year's Day night, and we'll see a Christmas Raw for the first time in years, actually on December 25th. So with Raw having two major shows literally a month before their 25th anniversary, which I'm hoping a SmackDown Invasion Part 2 will happen, because Raw having their 25th anniversary and SmackDown wrestlers expected to be a part of the show. I'm hoping we continue in this direction, because I've never seen such promising angles and such promising storylines and ratings for the future, because the more higher ratings we see for the show, the only more fans will benefit, and WWE in its entirety will benefit. So I want to know what your thoughts are on all this. I'm actually pleased with the direction of WWE, and that's not something you hear me say a whole lot of. But who can blame me with the current direction and how promising it looks for the future and 2018? Get in on the conversation in the comments of this video blog. You're more than welcome to do so, and it's always is appreciated. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I guess I will leave it at that. And see you again next week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Jonathan Clarke 22.
HEW Entertainment Radio is a production of HEW Entertainment on their official website and broadcasts on social media. You can join the conversation on our Facebook page at HEW Entertainment, follow and listen to our show on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke 1, and watch us on our YouTube channel at Jonathan Clarke 22. Hosted and produced by Jonathan Clarke out of Canada. If you have any questions on our radio broadcast, you can email us at jonathanclarke2005 at hotmail.com. Thank you for listening.